Morse Watchmans will be speaking about what key control is, how it's used, and what the benefits are to an organization, featuring their flagship product, the KeyWatcher Touch. Following the session, you'll be prompted to join the live Q&A.
Morse Watchmans, the global leader in electronic key control and asset management.
Hello and welcome to Morse Watchmans Tech Talks presentation. I am Tim Papura, VP of Global Sales and Marketing for Morse Watchmans, and I'm joined with Carl Perugini, National Sales Manager for Morse Watchmans. Today we're going to give you a brief history on who Morse Watchmans is and chat a few minutes about our flagship product, the Morse Watchmans KeyWatcher. So, Morse Watchmans has been around since 1882. We did guard tour clocks, electronic guard tour systems. Then in the early 90s, designed and developed the first electronic key control system. Since that time, we've become a global leader of key control and asset management. So we serve several markets, and we'll get into that in just a few minutes. But Carl, can you tell us a little bit about why key control is important?
Yeah, so many important features of key control are certainly we're looking at security, we're looking at accountability, and operational efficiencies, to name a few.
So, as I said, we're the global leader. We have innovative technology. We've been around it's actually 138 years and still going strong. Our motto is think inside the box, inside that key box. But one of the things I wanted to mention is, I have the word resilience on the board. I use that because during this whole COVID crisis, we've been open for business. We've been here producing key watchers and supporting hospitals, police, municipalities in their efforts. So, we're going strong. And again, that global leader. Carl, can you talk about the markets? I think we serve.
Yeah, absolutely, Tim. I mean, and this is always growing as well. We're in hospitality, casinos, education, corrections, healthcare, government, military. We do a lot in the retail space and stadiums and arenas. And certainly these sectors are always expanding.
Excellent.
And I also, want to mention that the Morse Watchman KeyWatcher products are 100% made in the USA. We do all our R&D here, all our engineering work here, our technical support, and build the systems here.
Excellent, thank you. What's a KeyWatcher? We're just going to keep it simple. It's like we're at a trade show. So, KeyWatcher actually has evolved over the years. We now offer the KeyWatcher Illuminated and the KeyWatcher Touch. The Illuminated is a standalone system that doesn't need a network. It simply plugs into a serial port. And the KeyWatcher Touch is a fully networked client-server application. Today we're going to focus on the KeyWatcher Touch. So you have a system. Once it's in place, once it's programmed, its use is employees or users come to the system, they get the keys they need for the day or whatever time they need. So they authenticate themselves through a PIN code, fingerprint, or a proxy card, and we now do offer facial recognition. Simply they remove their keys, whether it be a single key or multiple keys, and they return their keys, single or multiple. Users can be limited in terms of the days and times they're allowed to get keys. Keys can be limited, requiring dual or triple authentication. And Carl, you'll talk about that in just a few minutes. Everything is captured. When I say everything, anytime you take a key out, it's captured. You return a key, it's captured. When you change a permission on the system through the software, it's captured. So it is an absolute 100% audit trail. Just talk about how the systems are designed, Carl. We've got some pictures up on the screen. Talk about that for a few minutes.
Sure. How we reference our KeyWatcher systems is by modules. And each one of the squares inside the key cabinet is what a module is. So there's various types of modules that we have as far as 6 key, 8 key, 16 key, credit card, or locker modules, dual or single. And this is how we can configure a system to our client's need. And here we go again. This is we're available as far as 1, 2, 3, 6, or 9 module cabinets. We also have the option of remote boxes, and this can be used as a remote single control box or used together with control boxes for a dual setup kind of environment. And there's are 2 different types of KeyWatchers as well. We have the KeyWatcher Touch system, which slots lock the smart keys in place, or we have the KeyBank system, which slots do not lock the smart keys in place. In any regard, both systems utilize the KeyWatcher software packages, which is our TrueTouch client software and our KeyWatcher server software.
Thanks, Carl. As you mentioned, we've got the modules that makes the systems very scalable. The KeyBank, as Carl mentioned, the slots do not lock the keys in place. So there's only one module available for that, and that's 20 keys. For the KeyWatcher, we have the 6, 8, and 16 key modules, as well as dual, single lockers, and credit card modules. And these can all be interchanged. Carl, can you talk about features of the KeyWatcher?
Absolutely, Tim. Some of the features we have with the KeyWatcher system is the instant key release, and this allows keys to be automatically released and returned, random key return, notifications, key reservations, my keys out, which helps you see what keys you have out, if any are overdue, and when they will become overdue. We certainly have global administration, and you mentioned before dual and triple authentication. This is where keys can be set up to require 2, 3 user codes to be released. And we also have the reporting aspect, which is a big feature on our systems.
The report-wise, we can get reports on users, on the keys themselves, transactions, anything that happened with the system, alarms that have happened, even alarm, leaving the door open, and of course, anything on the database. Question of the day, Carl. Any idea how many languages the KeyWatcher Touch supports?
That's a great question, Tim. I've been here for a number of years, and it seems like Morse keeps on expanding into different markets across the world. And I believe today we're up to 19 different languages.
That's awesome. All right. Other than the keys, we also have the smart lockers, the smart key lockers. I'm not going to really get into these, but just so that you know that it's available, we've got a radio locker, which is a vertical locker. We have single locker modules and dual locker modules, as well as a PC locker. And these lockers are locked with the same key technology. We also have, in terms of ancillary products, tamper-proof key rings. These are great when you have multiple keys for one key ring. So the beauty of these is that it's stainless steel, of course. Once it's locked, you can't open it. That hub, those colored hubs, would have to be broken to replace or remove a key. Again, the beauty of this is that when you take the key off, or you have to remove or replace keys, you lock it with a new hub. The hub is serialized, so you can keep track of it and date-wise that when it's been changed. Let's do a quick demo for the KeyWatcher Touch. Thanks for joining us. For more information, you can go to our website, www.morsewatchmans.com. You can always contact me at tim@morsewatchmans.com or info@morsewatchman.com. Again, thanks for joining us today.
Morse Watchmans, the global leader in electronic key control and asset management.
Just give people a couple of moments, but I'll pop on screen and say, hello, everyone. Welcome to the IFSEC Tech Talks, October the 6th, 2020. We're here with a packed day of conversations, presentations, and Q&As. And joining us right now are Tim, Joe, and Mario, all the way from the US, from Morse Watchmans. Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for joining us today.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Thank you
Thanks for having us, David.
Good stuff. So we've still got people joining the attendees list. People, it sometimes takes a moment or two to switch over from one place to the other, but I know that many people will have been watching the presentation video. But for those who perhaps haven't, or maybe had to join it a little bit late or duck off a little bit early, Tim, I'll come to you first of all.
Sure.
Just tell me a little bit more about where you guys are at, about Morse Watchmans, and about your KeyWatcher product that I know you're keen to talk about today.
Sure, will do, David. Thanks. And thanks for having us. Morse Watchmans has actually been around since 1882. We are the first to design and develop the KeyWatcher back in 1993. The KeyWatcher is very straightforward. You got a few behind me here, but they are systems that are standalone as well as fully networked systems that will hold keys, secure keys, and only authenticated users can access them. So if you were an employee of whether it be a bank, a hotel, we're in every casino in Las Vegas and Macau. We are in airports, universities, the list goes on. But if you were an employee of one of those facilities, you would have access to the keys that you would need for the day. So you would go to the system, authenticate yourself. The system then would identify the keys that you're allowed to have, all pre-programmed, thank you. And the door would open and you take the key you need to go, and then that's it. Everything else is locked in the system. You can only get the keys that you're allowed to have.
Super.
Yeah, Joe, anything else to add?
Well, I'm just going to add, because I'm looking at the KeyWatcher that's right behind you, over your left shoulder, and that particular system also does access cards. So if you look at that one, you can see a couple access cards being held in place with some special holders. And then we have dual lockers, and we also have a single locker as well. If you have other things that you'd like to store, we can secure those as well.
Excellent.
Right.
Thanks.
Yeah. So that seems quite straightforward in many ways, but let's dive into the weeds a little bit. And I should say, for those of you watching from home or from your office or from the public transport that you happen to be watching us on from, it's 2020. You could be watching us from anywhere right now. Please do pop your questions onto the screen. If you like the look of someone else's question more than your own, then ask your own question anyway, but give their question a thumbs up, and we'll carry on with a cracking conversation with Tim, Joe, and Mario. So let's take the COVID angle into this and what's been happening to us this year. And I guess two questions there. I will kick off with, tell me, how has coronavirus affected you and your operations? And then I will lead into a question that I can see on my dashboard here that maybe has that in the back of its mind. And the question, thank you for your question, asks, is there a touchless solution to KeyWatcher on the cards? Obviously, people are quite conscious of touching things at the moment. So coronavirus and the knock-on effect to the features of your existing or future products.
Well, it's been a very interesting year, I may say. Coronavirus has hit us all. Fortunately, we've been very secure here at Morse Watchmans, taking all the precautions from day one. We've remained open. We were an essential organization here in the United States that actually serves hospitals, serves police, corrections facilities. So we remained open, producing KeyWatchers the whole time. But it's been challenging. Business has been challenging. But if you look at what we've done to kind of protect and mitigate the risk of transmitting the virus through our systems, one of the first things I think Joe came up with was to talk to our vendor, our metal vendor, and look at antimicrobial powder coating for the cabinets. So we did that, and we did that very quickly. In April, we actually started to get some antimicrobial cabinets in. We took our current inventory, shipped it back out to the vendor, who repainted them, and so that antimicrobial powder coating, resists the transmission of virus or any microbes that may be on it. Right. So our systems have that, as well as you can see behind me, stainless steel. So we use what's called Category 4 hospital grade stainless steel, which is also microbial resistant, if not even more than the powder coating. So that's one thing we did. Yeah. The other thing is we also introduced facial recognition, and a system that we can put onto our KeyWatcher. So to authenticate yourself, typically it's a PIN code, or you can use fingerprint reader or a proc card reader. So the facial recognition would make it touchless, although it is called the KeyWatcher Touch. Nonetheless, yes, we have the facial recognition, but also prox card is a way to access the cabinet without physically touching the touch screen. So yeah, features that we've had all along. There's one called instant key release, and this is something that enables your employees. If you're getting the regular keys every day, the system can be programmed so that all you do is swipe your card or prox card to the reader. System recognizes who you are, automatically opens, lights up your key, you take your key and you go. It's that simple. So it truly does mitigate how many times you're touching the system. Yeah. Joe, anything to add on that?
Well, the only thing I think you said it all. I was thinking of the instant key release. As Tim said, essentially you just present your card or your face, the door, you get into the system, the key releases to you, and likewise the return also works the same way. In addition to that, we've talked to our clients and we've sent out information to all of our distributors to let them know about the importance of cleaning the systems and to prevent it, putting sanitizer next to it. So we've really been working with everyone to make sure that happens.
Yep.
Good stuff. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Another question has come in as well. Is it easy to integrate into a fleet management system with numerous vehicles going in and out of the premises? And have you got any existing customers in this sector?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's just say easy to integrate. We have a KeyWatcher fleet system. We developed that last year and have rolled it out. So it's a system specific to managing a fleet of vehicles. So it manages, rather than persons having access to the keys, you have access to a pool of vehicles. Right. And the system will recognize the vehicles and deploy vehicles based on the parameters that you've set. Could be first in, first out, could be based on fuel, could be based on the year of the vehicle, again, whatever parameters you want to set up. Nice. But yes, we do have a fleet system, and Mario, Joe, please chime in if you want to add to that. It's quite a strong system that will really manage your fleet. And if I would just say, so if you look at the optimizing of your fleet, right? If you have 20 vehicles and you're now watching the optimization of how these vehicles are being used, and you see that they're being used at 60 or 65%, well, you want that number to be up at 90, 95%. Yeah. So which means that maybe you don't need 20 vehicles, maybe it's 15. So it really optimizes the utilization of your fleet. Guys?
Tim, I think you said it perfectly. I really can't add much more to that. I mean, the one thing I like is the Morse Smarts. It has that on-demand mode where a user can walk up and on-demand request a vehicle that might be available at that time as well. It's got several modes of operation. The pull release being the most popular, but they can release specific vehicles if they have, if it's a supervisor that might have access to any vehicle in the fleet. So it's really got a number of different flavors to it.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Another question. How easy is it to integrate your KeyWatcher with a customer's other access control systems? What are the integration smarts that you allow?
I could go on forever on this, but I'm going to let Mario talk. He's really the tech expert.
Yeah,
Mario,
hello, Mario.
All right,
Give us
so
one to you,
I guess I
Mario.
have to say a few words. So we do integrate with our most popular ones is Lenel, Secure, AMAG Symmetry. It's to help the end user have a one-stop. So when they're adding a user, their integration can actually communicate with our system. So if you're adding a user, updating their card access, or just maybe disabling them or deleting them, you can do it through their integration, and it'll communicate with our system. I'm trying to keep it simple, but
Yes,
maybe
yes.
Joe, if you want to add anything else to that.
Yeah,
But
so essentially if it's Lenel and you have OnGuard, they can go in and they can have specific users in OnGuard be sent down to the KeyWatcher. In addition with that, their card criteria gets sent down as well. So the user, their card data, but one of the most important things I think is the fact that it will match up the access group with our profile that we already have. So if it's a security access group and a security profile, it marries the two. So now the user also has access to a specific set of keys, a certain access level, you know, and all the other parameters that go with it. So it's, as Mario said, it's I like the one-stop shopping. They put the user into Lenel and it just gets set right over to us with the card criteria, as well as if they delete the user, that gets taken out. And then there's also an anti-egress feature as well, so that if they go to leave the building, they're going to present their card to the access control system, and they're going to get a loud buzz or something that they're not going to be able to leave the building until they go and return their keys back to the system.
Nice.
Once they return their keys, then the system validates that and allows them to leave the building. So those are some of the biggest things.
Do also keep in mind that we do have certified integrations with specific companies, but we also, if you had a system that you wanted to integrate with the KeyWatcher system, we do have an API available that you know, you could integrate with just about anything. Well, yeah, right? Yeah, just about anything.
Just about
Pretty much.
anything.
Pretty much.
We'll hold you to that, Tim.
Okay.
We are almost out of time, so it's got one more question here for now. But if you've got any more questions, now's your chance to pop them on the screen here before we let Tim, Joe, and Mario go. But my final question, maybe you've already covered a bit of it, I don't know. But in terms of scalability here, how easy is it? You know, let's say that, I don't know, you take over another floor of the office building or whatever it is, you need some extra keys, your existing cabinets filled up. How easy is it to add additional cabinets or devices to an existing KeyWatcher system?
It is actually very simple. I could answer this. I'm going to go to Joe because, Joe, I like to hear you talk, but go ahead and talk about the site.
Yes, it's very easy. And if you look at those cabinets and back at Tim, you're going to notice the one to the right has got 6 of these particular modules in it. If you look, each quadrant or whatever is a module. So it's very easy to add more to that if you didn't fill it in the first place. But in addition to that, you can quickly add cabinets to the system. So now you look at the one to right in the center. I like the fact that you got KeyWatchers in back here, Tim. It makes this easy. If you look at the one right in the center, that can be butted up right up against the other one, and everything is controlled from that one touch screen, that one controller. The system will prompt you to open up the door to box 2, and then it'll tell you, it'll light up the location and tell you which key or asset or locker to take out. Now you can actually expand that up to 15 cabinets in a single system, or you can go even more. It's 1,440 keys, but now you can also do something where you group cabinets into sites and they all share a common database. So now you're taking multiple large systems or smaller systems and putting them in one common site or grouping. So the answer to your question is it's relatively easy. It's one wire that goes over, you plug it in, and it recognizes the system and you're in business. There's no reprogramming. There's nothing that needs to be done. Very easy.
Well,
Joe mentioned the term site, that, you know, if you have one system on one floor and you want to, you know, put a system on another floor, another building, easily done. They all connect to the same server. They all talk to each other. If you allow me, I can take a key from one, replace it in another. So
Key anywhere.
yeah, very, very simple.
Yeah, that's called Key Anywhere.
Key Anywhere. Well, I'm afraid that we are out of time for now. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here today and for the presentation, and then for the triple whammy, the trinity of Q&A from the Morse Watchmans team there. Tim, Joe and Mario, have a great day. Thank you again for joining us. Hope to see you again soon. And thank you to everyone watching today. We'll be back with more IFSEC Tech Talks in just a few moments. We'll be hearing from Traction Guest, I think, joining us at about 3 o'clock. But for now, gentlemen, take care. Everyone else watching, take care too. See you soon.
Thank you.